with Clear Life Combat streaming live. We are in Galveston County, but I have a guest that's zooming in. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we're going to find out everything that he has going on. Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Morning, bro. I'm Landon Elmore, and I train at New Wave Jiu Jitsu and the John Danaher.
All right. So that's pretty awesome to be able to train under John Danaher. I saw the other day that you were competing in a competition in a, I don't know if it was like a tournament or super fight. I think it was a super fight. How did that go, and what's it like having that kind of firepower in your corner?
I won. I ended up winning by decision. It was a really good match, and I think the coaching in my corner made the fight so much better for me. Like in my head, like I felt confident, and then the instruction was obviously like world class. So I
Yeah.
think that was key to my victory.
Yeah. How long have you been training at New Wave?
I just joined like 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I'm pretty new, but I'm liking it a lot.
Yeah. So you live in, I believe, where are you from originally? You're from the Houston area, right?
Yeah, I'm from Houston.
So how does that work with you, I guess, making the trip? Do you go up there, come back, or what do you do?
We drive up every day. So I get up at we or me and my dad get up at 5, and then we drive to make the 8:30 class, and then we stay, shower, and eat stuff like that, and then we make the 2:30 class, and then we go home.
Yeah. So wait, okay, you have to tell me that. So how old are you, and what? I mean, you have to be pretty driven to be able to wake up, and that's the routine, right?
Yeah, it's the routine so far. We've been doing that for the past couple of weeks. I'm 16 years old, and I just turned 16 in October. So
So 16. How long have you been training?
4 years. I've been training for 4 years, and I just started doing like predominantly nogi this year.
Mm-hmm. What drew
Yeah,
you
I was
towards? I guess what drew you towards that, or what made you make the switch?
I was always a gi guy. Like I always loved the gi, and then I don't know. I just I loved the scrambling, and leg locks are pretty cool too. But I just liked how free I felt. Like I felt able to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to get into, I guess, like the aspects of the legs and all that stuff when it comes to no gi. But what, I guess, why even start training at all? Like, what made you want to check out jujitsu or martial arts?
My dad put me in it when I think I was 12 years old. My dad introduced me to it, and I ended up loving it. I was always in sports. Like I was always pretty athletic. I did like soccer and t-ball like as a kid. But I was always like more on the physical side. So jiu-jitsu really helped me like bring that out. Like I felt like it was a sport for me.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have two. I have a little brother and a little sister.
Do any of them train, or they have any interest at all?
My brother trains.
Okay, how old is he?
He is 11 years old and he's a gray black belt.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome, awesome, okay, okay, okay,
yeah.
okay,
My
okay,
sister,
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 okay.
sister,
Yeah, it's gone. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can.
Can you hear me? Okay, I hear me too. I get. Hey Kurt, mute my mic in my headphones, please. Okay.
There we go.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
But I can't think until I can't hear myself. We're having technical difficulties, but we're gonna keep rolling with it. This is the beauty of trying to do something live.
Right? Things just
And
happen.
people are watching. Yeah, things are happening. People are like, "What's going on?" We're having fun. Okay, so for you, I guess tell me what were your thoughts whenever you first started training? Like, what was going through your head? Hey, this is automatically for me, or what? How did that go?
I felt like I just felt like a click. Like I just felt like it was for me. Like the first day I went, I remember we did like a throw, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like I just felt like the sport was for me. Like I'm meant for the sport, you know?
That's awesome. Okay, and so Hang on one second. Hey, I can't. It's goofing out, and it's like I just have a really crazy echo in my head.
Good.
And it's driving me crazy.
You can hear yourself.
Yeah, I can hear myself. That's the issue.
Oh,
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my ears out, and then I'm gonna ask you a question, and then I'm gonna put them back in to hear you answer. Okay. So, you know, I guess going up to New Wave, you hear all this stuff about. How would you say that it is the same, or how is it different than training at other places?
um, you cut out when you said that. So like I have no idea what you said.
You've trained at
Like
other
you're
places. Can you hear me right now?
no, I don't know.
No, you can't hear
Yeah,
me.
now I can. There you go.
Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, sorry. You know,
Yeah.
what's the difference between training at New Wave and training at these other places that you've had the opportunity to train? How is it the same and how is it different? As far as the instruction, I guess the structure of the classes, is it different?
It's super like skill oriented. So each class is like how do I say this? We're looking to acquire skills each class. So it's super specific training heavy. And then the instruction is obviously really good. Everything ties in together. So during the week we learn different things, but at the end of the week it'll all tie together.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah, it's
all the other gyms I've been at.
yeah. Yeah, and you've had the opportunity like what other places have you trained?
I started out at a Gracie Baja school, and then after 2 years, I moved to Carlson Gracie, Houston, and then I decided I wanted to do nogi. So then I moved to the dark side, and then me and my dad decided it'd be cool to try to get into new wave. So then I started going to Austin and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I can say I've been around, but it's good to have that knowledge.
Yeah. Is there any politics when it
You cut out again, bro. I still can't hear you. I'm sorry, dude.
check 1 2, can you hear me
Here, there we go. Oh, now I can hear you again.
You can't hear me.
There, you're back. Now you're not back. You keep like,
Can you hear me?
yeah,
Okay, awesome. Hey, that's what's up. Okay, okay. What I was asking was, whenever you make that switch, or whenever you have made a switch from one gym to the next, is everybody usually pretty cool, or is like the jujitsu gym politics come into play, or how's that been?
yeah. I have some people that like call me a gym hopper and stuff like that, but um, I just see it as acquiring experience from everywhere.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's
yeah,
definitely the politics involved, but I'm not too worried about that.
yeah. Okay, and then okay, how would you describe your jujitsu? Like whenever you approach a match, you know, what goes through your head, and how do you handle, I guess, the stress, or do you have any of that? Because you've competed a lot.
Yeah, I get super nervous before matches, and that affects my performance sometimes. So I have to like calm myself. I would say my style is like I'm trying to work on this, but it's like wild. Like I like flying triangles and flying arm bars, stuff like that. I'm trying to work on being more positionally dominant and controlled. But I'd say my style is super like wild, and I love to scramble.
Yeah, we know if somebody goes and watches your matches, or do you think about like, okay, so you have a super fight that's coming up, and I believe it's a rematch of a match that's already happened. So it's somebody that you faced, they faced you. Are you going to be a completely different grappler, or is it
Yeah,
kind of like, yeah,
definitely think so. I fought him in the finals of the ADCC Open, and I lost by two negatives. So I'm hoping to get this one back, and I think I will be a completely different grappler. I was super in my head in that match, so I think I'm gonna come back very different.
Yeah. Also, I think you went and competed at the West Coast Trials, and then you went and did the Open. What was that experience like competing in that?
Yes, West Coast Trials was like such a unique experience. It felt so surreal being there on the mats. I didn't make it past the first round. I lost by 3 points, but even in that match, it was such a good experience. And the Open too was super cool. I'm a big fan of ADCC rules.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. What is it about the rules that you think that you like so much?
I like the open rule set, and the wrestling aspect is really cool too. Their stalling calls are super, they're super strict on that. So I like that too. I just like the how it pushes being aggressive.
Mm-hmm. What are the rules? For this promotion that on January 8th, you have a super fight coming up. What kind of rule set is that, and do you enjoy competing for that promotion?
Yeah, it's a 10-minute ADCC rule match. And I love competing for that promotion. My friend Christos, he also trains at New Wave. He runs that, so I love going out to support him. His events are amazing, and if you ever think about fighting, you should definitely do one because it's
Yeah.
super well run.
What's the name of that promotion? What is it?
It's called Vow Submission Series, and it's at a gym called Vow BJJ, so that's why it's
Okay.
called Vow Series. It's like
Okay.
their
Very
own,
cool.
yeah.
So it's almost that's going to be your first match of the year. What kind of goals do you have going forward into 2023?
I have a lot of goals. I want to win trials. That's a big goal, but I think I can do it by the time it comes around. East Coast, West Coast, whatever I can do. Um, I want to win more IBJJF events. I haven't focused on that enough. So I want to emphasize that a little bit more. But I just feel like it like restricts my game a lot. But it's good to work on those things.
Mm-hmm. You talked about making that drive. Waking up at 5:30 to make the 8:30 class in Austin. Is there any plans for you? I mean, you just turned 16, but do you have plans? Do you want to move there eventually, or where do you think the further future holds for you?
Oh, for sure. We're like trying to move right now. We're just trying to iron everything out. So like this is like the temporary solution, just to drive there. But in the near future, we will definitely move there. I can say
Yeah,
that for sure.
yeah. And I mean, so what kind of schooling do you do as far as that allows you to train, so much and so regularly?
I'm homeschooled, and I've always been homeschooled like my whole life, even before jiu-jitsu. So it kind of worked out when I started because I can train as much as I can, as much as I want, and still be able to fit school in. So like I'm gonna do school later today. Like it's not super strict. I just get it done and then do what I need to do.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's a pretty. I mean, it seems like it's a pretty cool setup to be able to like, hey, get the school done, and then you can just focus on everything else that is important as well, or stuff that you want to do or anything like that, right?
Right. Yeah. It works out for the best. Even in training, do it after class or before class. Like
Mm-hmm.
it works out.
Yeah, and I've talked, and I'm sure you've met a lot of people who are homeschooled. Or earlier, before we went on and started the interview here, we are talking about Jackson, who trains out at Fight Factory. I've talked to
Oh yeah.
him, a stud. I was like, do you go to school? You home? He's like, I'm homeschooled. And just can train as much as you want, get your school done, and kind of have a, have a good career, as far as martial arts go.
Yeah, dude. Jackson is a really cool guy. I met him a couple months ago. He's super good. He just got his blue belt. Um, if you're ever to go to BFF, you have to catch a roll with him. He's good. But yeah, I think this new generation coming up that's homeschooled has a huge advantage over the past generation because they have so much more time to train.
Yeah, and the sport, I mean, it's just getting bigger. With the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 3, you see like ESPN showing highlights of
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu matches. It's going to get bigger. And you even see if you follow Gordon Ryan on Instagram. I know you do. You're,
Yeah.
teammates with him. But he posts stuff and it's like, hey, this helps the sport, and it kind of helps this generation going forward, to be
Oh
able to
yeah,
make a
dude.
career out of it. Is that your goal?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's my career now, and I'm hoping to make it big as I continue training. But yeah, I think that getting on that UFC Fight Pass like invitational like was a huge step for jiu-jitsu. in itself. Because like you said,
Did
ESPN is reposting and stuff like that. Like it was definitely huge, and even Gordon said it was a huge thing. So
yeah, Gordon's kind of changed the, I guess, the dollars that you see that are available, and the sport's still just pretty much in its like infancy, I guess. But
oh
you see
yeah,
people, people like yourself that start training really young, and you're, oh, I mean, you're a blue belt, right?
yeah, yeah.
But you're like your skills are way past that.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't ever feel like that. I always feel like I have to get better every day. Like I feel like if I'm not working on something or not trying to achieve something each day, I feel like I'm falling behind. And that's just how
Hmm.
I've always been. I don't know. I've been super competitive like that. Um, but yeah, I'd say I like to work hard.
Yeah, I mean, when you say you're super competitive, are you competitive? I mean, mainly with yourself or with others, with both?
With both for sure. I mean, I've always been that way. Like even when I used to play soccer, I used to like push the other kids over to get the ball. Like I was always physical and like super competitive. I'm not saying to push kids over when you play soccer, but I've always been that way.
Yeah. Did you watch or follow any of the World Cup or have time for that?
I did not. My brother did. He was super into the World Cup, so he was basically my update guy. He would give me all the updates,
Yeah.
like Argentina just won, and he would tell me each time. It was wild.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I didn't really follow. It's like I'm not really a soccer fan. I played when I was like a little kid, but I'll see my phone will tell me. Like it says like, "Oh, news story. Argentina
Yeah,
wins" or whatever. I'm like, "Okay, that's cool. It'll happen again in 4 years, right?"
yeah, for sure. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah. You know, I guess outside of jiu-jitsu, what else do you like to do? Is there time for anything else?
Um, I like to do. I like to watch jiu-jitsu. Like everything I do, I know it sounds like nerdy, but everything I do revolves around jiu-jitsu. I love watching instructionals. Watching matches is like one of my favorite pastimes. I like to read a lot too, like nonfiction and stuff like that. But mainly jiu-jitsu for sure. Sometimes like video games, but I hardly have the time for those.
Yeah, unless they came out with a jiu-jitsu video game. Like there you go. That
Yeah,
would be
I'd be on
that
that
would
all
be
day.
fun. That would be awesome. Like I look at games like, whenever I was younger and growing up, it was like Rock Band or Guitar Hero, and you would see people
Yeah,
that were kids and they got into that, and they're like, oh, I can kind of play the drums, and then went into it. I could see people like I'm gonna play, or if there was like the UFC 4 or the games like that where you had to do like offshoots, you have to train your jujitsu, and then kids learning jujitsu backwards, through video games. That'd be pretty neat.
I think that would be pretty cool. I'm sure somebody will create that in the future.
Yeah,
Like
I mean that.
I'm
Well, I
not saying
see.
I'm sure somebody will create that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I see like instructionals, and sometimes, and I have instructionals, through BJJ Fanatics, and there's some other things. What really helps is watching like reels, like those short, bite-sized, things, and they show up on your algorithm. If that's watch one of them, then you get a whole bunch of them. But even if there was, like, hey, I'm watching a move or a breakdown, and it's like, okay, now you got to act it out through the video game. You're watching a Danaher, instructional, and then it's like, oh, you kind of figure it out and see the key details. That'd be pretty neat.
That would be pretty cool. Dude, I have so many of those Instagram reels saved. Like my saved on the Instagram is just full of those. Like I love watching them all. And they're really helpful too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you ever film any yourself?
Yeah, I have a couple on my page. I just did one before my fight last week. So yeah, I like doing them. They're fun to make.
Yeah. As far as social media, do you have any goals? For that, I would say a big part of being able to get the dollars in jiu-jitsu or combat sports is marketing yourself, or
All right.
growing your following, and then people, sponsors and promotions will want to bring you in. Is that something you're actively trying to grow or do?
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to build my follower count a lot, especially this year. I feel like I've I've dedicated a lot more time to doing that, like posting and being more active, talking to people, networking. But yeah, I'm hoping to at least reach 5,000 by the end of 2023. I know that that's like a short goal, but like it will build. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you ever get any advice from some of your teammates or some people that have reached that, or like, hey, here's what I did that kind of helped? Almost like, hey, I'm getting advice on jiu-jitsu, but how do I market myself in jiu-jitsu?
Oh yeah, they told me to be like consistent with posting. I heard that helps a lot. Like different songs like on the reels will boost the algorithm and stuff like that. Like all kinds of tips and tricks. Like it helps.
Yeah. Hey, so this what does next week look like for you? You know, Christmas is is coming up. I know you were talking about, hey, your back's kind of messed up. The weather's kind of crappy. The roads are going to be icy. Are you going to be
It's
forced to take some time off or hit some open mats around here, or make the drive to Austin?
we'll see. I mean, we they have class every day, like even on the holidays. Like they will probably have class on Christmas. So we'll see how that turns out. I probably will be training on Christmas. I'll probably be with my family. Um, but yeah, I'll probably just stay with my family for the next week. Maybe I'll train tomorrow, but we'll see how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you had any major injuries or setbacks that kind of took you off the mat for a bit? And how'd you handle those?
No, I've never been injured like that before. Like it's not I don't normally get injured. Like I always tap. Like I don't ever let things go too long. But
That's awesome.
after my fight this Sunday, I just started having back problems. So I was like, this really hurts.
Yeah. Was it something specific in the match, or just something like, hey, you realize after I'm kind of sore?
Yeah, I was inverted a lot, and I was playing a lot of close guard, but like side on. So my back was like always sideways like that, and I think it was a 10-minute match. So I
Yeah.
think that really like took a toll on my back.
Yeah. So on January 8th, you have that match coming up. Do you have a game plan, or how are you approaching that match? And do you have any predictions for it?
I haven't thought about the game plan yet, but normally I don't ever like to go in with a concrete game plan. I just want to have an idea of what I like to do. Maybe I've been working on my passing a lot lately. Maybe I'll try to incorporate that. Um, we'll see. We'll see how the match goes. I'm hoping to come out on top, but I know my opponent's name is Nathan. I know he's a really good competitor. He trains out of Hinzo Gracie in Reno, so it should be prepare for a show. It'll be a good match.
Yeah. As far as promotions that you haven't competed for, what are some that you would like to maybe, try and get on a card this year?
That's another goal actually. Who's number one? I would love to be on who's number one. Um, I've always liked the rule set, and I've like I don't think I've missed one yet. So I love watching them, and then it would be even cooler to be there and compete for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. I would say, flow grappling with who's number one. Um, outside of UFC Fight Pass Invitationals, as far as the production goes, that's the top of the line, as it is right now. But
Sure.
it's pretty well done, and those matches are always entertaining, and there's always highlights and everything. But I think they do a really good job.
Right, I agree. The Fight Pass Invitational was interesting to watch too. Like also that would be a good promotion to be on. It's pretty. This is like their third one, so I think as I get better, I feel like I could get invited to that and
Yeah.
hopefully be on.
Yeah, I was talking, or earlier you had asked, hey, how long have you been doing this? So this is about a year of Clear Life Combat. But I talked to my friend Christian Guzman, who trains under Professor Giacolino at Gracie Barra, Texas, and he was on. He was actually the first fight on the UFC Fight Pass Invitational, the first one. So he was like the first jiu-jitsu match to take place at the UFC Apex, which I thought, hey, that's how cool is that? Like, who could say that?
That's that is super
Yeah,
cool. I remember watching that. That
yeah,
was a pretty
yeah. And so then, like a couple months later, he hit me up and was like, um, UFC was in Houston, and I sent a DM to Dana White about, hey, I got a pair. We got some custom Howler Head uh, Air Jordan ones, like in his size, and sent him a picture. Him in Cloud Customs, he's based out on the north side as well. Very cool guy. He trains as well. And
awesome.
Dana sent him the address to the hotel where he was staying. And so he hit me up and was like, hey, can you come capture this? And so we did. We went out there. But I remember him talking to Dana and about the UFC Fight Pass Invitational he was on. He was like, hey, how much do you get paid? They take care of you and all this stuff. And it was just really, I don't know. It was just a cool thing to be there at all, but the
Right.
fact that these UFC, not UFC, but these events taking place at the UFC Apex, and these jiu-jitsu fighters getting taken care of, and it's just going to elevate the sport. So Very
elevate the
cool.
sport. Yeah, that's what the sport needs right now is to be put out there, for lack of a better wording, just like put out there. Like ADCC was really good for the sport. Like I feel like it grew a lot off of that, especially with the Fight Pass too. I think we can only go up from here for sure.
Yeah, with this past ADCC, I can't even imagine. You know, the next one that takes place, how much bigger and better it's going to be. It's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, it definitely be amazing. It was a great experience to be there. Like it was
Yeah,
like wild. Like
yeah,
it's a one experiences that like you had to be there. Like you just had to be there. It was super cool.
yeah. I was watching on my phone. I think I put it on the TV and I was like, oh, I wish I was there. But then I realized how old I am because like, I mean, it takes place all day. And I saw Gordon, he was talking to Ariel Hawani about that, about how long the events were and the thousands of people that were just there, you know, just glued in the seats watching the entire time.
We sat there all day, but I wouldn't have left. I didn't. I don't think I left my seat. Like I was super into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool. All right. Hey, well, before we sew it up, is there anything else that you would like to share? Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I mean, thank you for having me on here, bro. I appreciate it. I've seen your page for a while. I saw my friend Miranda come on here, and I was like, oh, that'd be so cool to be on there. So when you messaged
Yeah.
me the other day, I was like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she trains out at with Professor Giacolino, I believe.
Yeah, she does. I think she just got her blue belt as well. Everybody's getting the end of the year promotions.
Yeah. Is that cool to see? I guess coming from, I mean, you're a blue belt, but you know, you got to appreciate your friends getting those promotions and just seeing all the people grow.
Oh, for sure, dude. Like I loved watching. I guess Otake got his black belt. Jackson got his blue belt. Miranda got her blue belt. Everybody's getting promoted. It's cool to see everybody like rise to that next level as the year ends.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Landon, well, thank you so much. I'm going to get your address. I want to send you a Clear Life Combat rash guard. I got some new rash guards in the work too, and I think I'm going to do some shorts, but I'm going to wait till those come in. I'll send you some as well. But thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you.
Sweet, bro. Thank you. This was an awesome experience. Appreciate it.